C27J Spartan is an air mobility aircraft. It's operated by Air Mobility Group, number 35 Squadron, and it's based at RAAF Base Amberley, which is near Brisbane in Queensland. Those of you who have attended air shows over the last few years will probably remember the stately Caribou aircraft. We used to love seeing the Boo fly around. Well, this is the replacement for that aircraft. The Australian Air Force took control of them in 2015, so they're pretty new to them. Well, thanks, ladies and gents. That's a nice round of applause for Kiwi Blue there. They do a great job. And I know how happy they were to get out at 9,000 feet today, rather than the short hop and pops we had to do for the last couple of days. So as I was saying about the Spartan, this is one of those aircraft that kind of bridges that gap, if you like, between tactical helicopters, medium utility lift helicopters, and something like the C-130. It's small, it's maneuverable, it can get down and dirty in the hills, and it absolutely loves short landing strips. Okay, so a nice low, clean pass from the Spartan here. He's just going to jink off at the end of this, turn and reposition himself, and the next time he comes through, that will be for what we call a dirty pass. Now, when we talk about aircraft, ladies and gents, we talk about them being clean or being dirty. That's not anything to do with whether they just had a car wash, or in the case of the C-130, about how much black stuff it puts out of its engines. What we mean by that is the state of the airframe itself. So, when we fly our aircraft and we want to fly them slower, we have to create more lift from them. When we want to land an aircraft, we have to put the landing gear down, and that creates drag. So we call dirtying an aircraft up when we put the landing gear out, but then we have to do something else to create lift. So if you look at the back of the wings, you'll see these portions of the wings that are called flaps, and they will be lowered down to change the shape of that aerofoil. So as this aircraft comes through for a dirty pass, the wings will be slightly curved at the back where the flaps are down, and the landing gear will be down. That will enable that aircraft to fly a lot slower, but generate the same amount of lift that it needs to stay airborne. Okay, left to right, dirty pass, gear down, and you can see from the inside of the wing, the flaps are set. As the landing gear retracts, we call that cleaning the aircraft up. He's going to clean up and reposition, and the next low pass will be from right to left, and they're going to have the ramp and door open. So hopefully you'll be able to see the loadmasters at the back giving you a wave, and the good one for the cameras, this one. So on board the aircraft today, we've got the aircraft captain and lead planner for this mission is Squadron Leader Mitchell Beck. There are two other pilots on board with him, Squadron Leader Gareth Gordon and James Champness. And then we also have Australia, a Warrant Officer Glenn Bennett, Sergeant David Gibbs, and Corporal Patrick Ballesteros, a Warrant Officer Engineer, an aircraft tech, and a maintainer. And those guys have been based out of Woodburn, and obviously they're taking meticulous care of this aircraft so that it can display for us today. I think we've got a sufficiently big enough gap to have another competition question right now. So this question, boys and girls, relates to the Sea Sprite, the SH-2G Sea Sprite. What I'd like to know from you, boys and girls, is which squadron operates the SH-2G Sea Sprite helicopter? And if you know the answer to that, I would like you to go to another helicopter that's on the ground, the Enmit Iroquois, and find Emma. So if you know where the Iroquois is and you could find Emma, then go get yourself a prize. Okay, a pass with the rear door open, so as they come through crowd centre, we should be able to look into the back of that aircraft. That's nice of him to give us a good view. We'll give him a wave. There he is, standing in the back. So obviously helping us out has been really important to the Aussies at the start of this year, but they had their own problems, of course. The whole world's going through it at the moment. There were big flooding events in Western Australia in January of this year, and the Spartan deployed there, and they were... but it's going to be a top-up pass, so he's going to show us the top side of his aircraft as he comes past. so nice to see aircraft of this size so close up at an air show. We're getting a really great view of that now. About 50 degrees angle of bank there by the look of it. He's going to do a reversal, and then the last pass of the display for the C27J Spartan is going to be an on-crowd approach. So he's going to come around right into the front of us at crowd centre, out over the vineyards over there, and then fly back towards the crowd. And the last part of what he does is a pitch up, so you get a really fantastic view for the cameras. Or a low show, it depends on where the cloud is as to whether we can do the full manoeuvres. All right, coming in from the front, ladies and gents, the C27J Spartan of the Royal Australian Air Force. Big round of applause. And we deeply appreciate the time that the Australian Air Force has given up to us today to help us showcase the military might that we have going on